with me now is Yaniv Yaakov. He is the brother of Yair Yaakov, who was kidnapped by Hamas. Yair is still in Gaza. Yair's two children, Or and Yagil, and his girlfriend were also hostages in Gaza for more than 50 days. But those two children and his girlfriend, they were released weeks ago as part of that first and only ceasefire deal. But Yair still remains. Little to no information being provided about his whereabouts and condition at this time. Yaniv doing everything he can, being willing to speak to anyone and everyone to get the message out, joining us here in the channel. Thank you so much, Yaniv, for being with me. I want to ask first, just you met with the Prime Minister yesterday.
Yes.
What was his message? Did you ask him a question? What was his message to you?
Oh, the first message he had to all the families that there is no real deal on the table. What we hear in the news, it's not real. There's initiatives that are coming from a lot of places, also from Israel, but no real deal is on the table right now.
There are all these reports of a 2-month pause to free hostages. This has been talked about, but he's saying it's not.
Yeah, he's saying it's not real, what we hear. He's saying that we have an Israeli initiative that they're trying to progress. He couldn't share the details with us, although we asked for it. We even said you can sign us on, NDAs or anything. Just let us know what's going on, because as families, we don't have the strength like we had for these past 3 months. We're struggling. We're trying to do whatever we can, but our strength is getting low and low.
Do you feel comforted by the Prime Minister? Do you feel he is doing the right thing by you?
My perspective is we need to stop, right? We need to bring them home, and it doesn't matter what the price is, right? For us as families, this is the most important part. I mean, we need them back home. First, a more important first thing is to get some kind of a sign of life from them. Because from 7th of October, we don't have anything. We know that Yair was injured, and a lot of other families know that their loved ones were injured also. So he was gunshot in his leg. He was beaten very hard by Hamas terrorists, and we got 2 propaganda movies that was shared with us by them. So we know that his condition is not good, and we're worried. And when Meirav and the kids came, we got even more information that was not that good. It was very frightening for us.
Tell me about your brother. Tell me about Yair, the kind of person he was, and what you miss most about him right now.
So Yair is a kind of person who would enter a room, and it doesn't matter who will be there, right? It doesn't matter the race, the religion, and after 5 minutes, everyone will be around him. Everyone will talk to him because he can talk about anything. He's a man of land. He's used to be a farmer for many, many years. Me as a child, because he's older than me in 12 years, he was like a superhero for me. I used to go to the field and see him, lifting those large pipes of water so they can water the fields. And I always looked up to him, He
was a charismatic man, charming. People enjoyed. He was willing to talk to everyone and be friends with everyone.
Yeah, such a great guy. And
I can imagine the kind of dad he was too. I mean, it must have been an amazing father.
Yeah, he is an amazing father. His kids miss him so much. We met them on Friday for the Shabbat dinner. They're worried like us, but they miss him. They want to be with him. Yagil has his 13th birthday, where it's a bar mitzvah, and it's so important for us to celebrate, and he didn't want to celebrate without his father, of course. And I know that when he will come back, we will have a great celebration, and we will travel together. That's what I want to bring.
That's what you're holding on to.
Yeah.
That traveling when he comes home. I want to ask you a difficult question here. As I mentioned, the 24 soldiers dying in Gaza yesterday. Funerals right now underway. In this one incident, this one explosion alone, 21 were killed. Some say this is proof that we cannot stop fighting. We cannot have a ceasefire, because all of those lives then would be in vain. They would not have died for a reason if we stop fighting now.
So,
it's a difficult question. I know that you understand that thought, though. But what's your reaction to those who say that we can't have a ceasefire now, especially after so many deaths in Gaza?
Yeah, that's a thing that hurt us more, right? We have our agony, we have our sadness, and on top of that, we see all the soldiers that are dying. So if we continue fighting, there will be more death.
If you stop fighting, some say, then was it worth it?
Yeah, I think that the fighting right now is concentrated on bringing down Hamas. But our saying is that if you want to bring down Hamas, you need to pull out the civilians that are abducted by them. If they're held over there, then the fights are more accurate and less destructive. Let's say that. You want to destroy Hamas, you need to pull out the hostages, and then you can do your war without worries. I call it like that.
It must be a unique pain for you, wanting your brother home, but seeing the soldiers die. I mean, this horror and tragedy yesterday must hit you differently.
Yeah, it breaks us. I heard about it yesterday from friends who got information about it before it was on the news, and me and my wife started crying for those guys who died over there. And I know that their mission as soldiers is not to demolish Hamas, it's more bring back the hostages. I know that the soldiers care about that, and that hurts me so much that they are in that situation because there are hostages over there.
Do you what we saw yesterday in the Knesset, family members going into the room, into the committee, getting in their faces, pointing at them, yelling at them? Do you think this is effective, or it may hurt the cause when you see these images?
I don't know if that's effective or not. I know that my daughter cried out, why? Well, she was weeping to tears when she heard that she needs to go back to school and that the country is going back to normal life, we can say. She said, how can anyone go back to normal life while they are there, still there? And she was crying, I cannot go back to school. So for us, it's the same. Until they'll be back, until they'll be home, we have no life. I mean, I stopped working, and everything I do is I interview everywhere. I'm trying to explain to the world that it started here, right? It happened in Israel, but it can happen anywhere in the world, and we see it starting to pop out in many countries.
Yeah. Yaniv, fighting so hard, tirelessly for his brother Yair. Thank you so much for being with us, for sharing his story and your hope and your vision. I really appreciate you taking the time here on I-24 News.
Thank you for having me.